All right, so I was sort of going to take a little bit of a different approach. I was going to sort of make an argument that I should sort of get the money, not because of like any sort of need, but more because I could do more stuff with the money.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Obviously, you sort of have a bit of like a globalist agenda, you could even say, about like, you're sort of supporting the needs. You sort of think that people who
is altruism globalism?
Yes.
Are those interchangeable?
No. This is definitely based on the same principles. The whole idea of globalism to begin with is that you ought to help other nations, right? That's based. That's like the baseline principle. So definitely a bit of a globalist agenda.
Okay, I like you already, Jacob.
A bit of a globalist agenda sort of going on in the stream. So I would just sort of say, like, I think statistically speaking, it's unlikely any of the other callers have as high of an IQ as me, and assuming that like economic. How do you call it? What do you say? Economic success.
Well, you can't think of words. You just said you have the highest IQ and you can't come up with words. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, I would say that like verbal IQ is only part of it, but there's like a 0.9 correlation between everything, so it's sort of like a stupid point.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, that's a smart thing. That's a smart thing to say.
Where is it going? Where is it going to this? Oh yeah, so assuming economic output, so earning money is equivalent to sort of value that you produce, which is actually, I was going to get something about that later.
Okay.
Then it means that, and again, there's like a 0.5 correlation with intelligence and being successful, which is to say making money. And that's the highest correlation of any trait we have.
Yeah.
Second one would be hard work.
Yeah.
So assuming that this is the case, that means I would contribute the most value to society, which means even with your like a little bit, sort of globalist priorities, I would sort of end up, producing more value from this.
What are you going to do with the money? What do you do? Are you how old are you?
I do a lot of things. I was sort of like,
how old are you?
The homeless. I do all that stuff, but I'm sort of going to donate this to my personal getting pussy fund.
Okay.
That's just part of what that sort of keeps my morale high. So it's important, like an important part of the organization.
Okay. So say that the morale gets propped up due to the winnings of the money. What do you then do that is like beneficial?
I was sort of thinking I could scam the elderly by drop shipping them vitamins. That was sort of the plan, but I mean, if I could go with something else, anything really.
Okay, all right.
Sort of an interesting question. I wanted to ask this.
Yes.
As our sort of economics major.
Yes.
I was thinking about so like I'll use like McDonald's as an example, I guess.
Yeah.
So somebody pays for a good at McDonald's.
Sure.
The person receives food, but this food at McDonald's makes them less healthy, right? So say down the line, this results in catastrophic health failure for them, which of course, like I think it's pretty documented that could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that they're impaired, and they let's say they have an important job too, like unlike working at a college, they work somewhere important, like they're a farmer. Okay. Now there's less food being produced. So as a consequence of this item that was bought and sold and then bought, right? A detriment of value was produced. So obviously that proves that there isn't like an inherent correlation between making money and being valuable.
No, I mean cigarettes is like the perfect example.
What's the perfect example?
Well, like cigarettes, because like cigarettes is the all these things you're describing, but then it literally is like killing and burdening the healthcare system. Not even killing people. My dad literally burdens.
Such a heavy cigarette smoker. This is actually funny because this sort of impairs me in a way.
Yeah.
My dad was such a fucking heavy smoker when I used to live with him, that every time I smell cigarettes, I think of my dad, and it's like a positive association. So like I want to smell.
Did you say every time you sell cigarettes?
Smell
cigarettes. I thought sell. Yeah. Okay.
Sort of unrelated, but
that's
something that sort of makes me a little bit concerned for the economic system. I think there are a lot of things where that's the case, where like I don't know. It's just, I guess the question is, how do you think there's like a better way for computing value, and how do you think we should sort of address this problem where you can do something that produces economic benefit for you, but it actually contributes negative value to society?
Well,
baked into that question is sort of like our priorities, like seeking short-term happiness through a McDonald's meal, are not necessarily aligned with our productivity. And how do you think we could sort of try to solve that?
Well, people don't eat McDonald's because they're worried about their productivity. They eat McDonald's because it's either easy or, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people will go eat McDonald's. But I mean, with at least with the cigarette example, like this with the cigarette thing, they charge a tax, and the tax, like, there's a huge tax when you buy cigarettes. and then that tax,
and then the tax
money
goes George Soros fund.
Well, something like that sometimes, but essentially that's how it's supposed to work. Is that the tax goes and covers the inherent.
That's sort of like I actually never really thought about that. Like, I never really thought about taxes being like a good thing for the economy.
Well, they're good. Well, they just do them. It's a sin tax. It's literally to that's actually disincentivize people to do the thing. But at least if they do the thing, then it covers them. Okay, Jacob, I gotta let you go.
Oh yeah.
Good luck.
Sorry. Other people.
I don't think it's looking good for you, but good luck. But I enjoyed talking to you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.